guys, I'm Ikpe, menswear stylist. First and foremost, I want to thank the Crescent Foundation for allowing me to speak to you all about who I am, what I do, and how I enjoy bringing life and pride into what it is that I do. So, let's get started. Again, my name is Ikpe. I'm a menswear stylist. I work primarily with professional athletes, and a few of my clients have been Jordan Matthews of the Eagles, Russell Douglas of the Eagles, and now he's over at Carolina Panthers. This season, I'll also be working with Eric Murray of the Houston Texans, as well as Ant Harris of the Minnesota Vikings. Very excited. So one of the things that I want to talk about is how I got started in fashion. To make it very, very simple, after graduating college, I entered the workforce and I worked in finance for 5 years, but I've always loved fashion. So in that time, I was always keeping up with my GQ magazines. I was always getting dressed and helping my friends get dressed. When it came to fashion and recommendations, I would be that guy in college and outside of college. So essentially, when the opportunity presented itself, I was just ready for it. My first client was Jordan Matthews of the Eagles. I met him out at an event. We happened to be fraternity brothers, and he told me that he liked my style. And I was like, oh, that's what's up. I appreciate that. Thought nothing of it. And then a few weeks later, we exchanged phone numbers, and then he asked me to help him get dressed for game day, which was amazing. In doing that, I went to his condo. So I looked through his closet, and I said, oh, you should keep this. You should throw this away, and you should donate this if you don't wear it anymore. So as I was doing that, another player happened to walk into the room, first round pick, Marcus Smith of the Eagles. And he was like, hey, are you a stylist? And at that time, I never even considered myself to be a stylist. So that day I was like, yeah, I'm a stylist. So he was like, cool, that's what's up. Literally, that's all he said. And then he walked out. So as I'm helping Jordan get dressed, 2 weeks later, Marcus Smith hits me up. And Marcus is like, hey, I have this charity event that I have to get ready for in Virginia. Can you help me get dressed? And I was like, absolutely. So, when it comes to being a stylist, there are a few things that you should always keep in mind. One, you always want to inform your clients on up and coming brands, emerging designers. And two, you always got to have a really, really good tailor, right? So those two things happen to be in my favor. And when it came to Marcus, I took him to Macy's, right? I had a relationship with the guy who worked in the suiting department, took him over to Macy's, bought a suit, had him measured up really well, and then we just got the suit tailored for him, and then, he looked great, and he and I decided to work together moving forward. So that's how I got into styling professional athletes. And after a while, I just stayed in that circle, got really, really comfortable with the guys and then their friends, other players on the teams. So I would just, be in that mix, and I would see a player, he would see me, we would get real familiar with one another. And the next thing you know, I would ask him, do you have an outfit for game day? And if you don't, I would love to help you get dressed. So, I did it with a bunch of other guys and they liked it. And I started to create content around it in terms of just photo opportunities, helping him get dressed, paying a photographer to be there and just catching photos so that I could then mimic that and do it for the next player. So I did it over and over. And after a while, I was like, you know what? It's about time to branch out. So I went out and branched out to other teams, other players, got a lot of no's in the beginning. And then got some yeses, which was really, really great. So now the sky's the limit. So like I said, this season I have 2 new players from 2 different teams, and it's just very, very exciting. So what I want to talk about now for my fellas, suiting. Now, a lot of the time when we think about suiting, we think, oh, it has to be this snobby look. It has to be a suit and tie and dress shoes and socks and just a lot of things, when that's actually not the case. Yes, there are a lot of people who prefer the traditional route, and that's perfectly fine. I'm okay with that. But then you have the other guys who like to break down suits and, dress them up however they like to, i.e. Malcolm Jenkins, formerly of the Philadelphia Eagles, now with the New Orleans Saints, the Black-owned designer, owner of Demari Seville in Philadelphia. If you don't know about it, you should absolutely check it out. Great pieces for sure. Now, last season, I was working with Russell Douglas of the Eagles, and I dressed him for all 16 games. And what I do is I make sure I create that content. So the first look that I'm going to show you is Russell Douglas in a traditional suited look. Now, this look is a navy blue pinstripe suit with a knit tie. He's wearing tassel loafer shoes, and this is a traditional suit. This is a suited look, you know, from top to bottom. He has a double-breasted suit with peak lapels on it. He looks really great, and he looks amazing. So this is the traditional suit. You know, it's flawless. You can't go wrong with it. But then you have some other guys who like a different look. So now I'm going to show you another look that I did for Rasul. Now, this is a more casual look. So I decided to go with a three-piece, very light tan suit, no tie, and sneakers. Now, this look right here says a lot. It's like, hey, I'm still professional, and Rasul just looks really, really great with it. The next look I'm going to show you is a more monochrome look. Now, this look with Rasul that I decided to do is another double-breasted suit, because if you know me, you know I love a good double-breasted suit. They called the color Oxblood. To me, it's more of like a Merlot. So this is a great look for Rasul. Instead of going with the traditional shirt, we decided to go with a light sweater under it, so it just falls perfectly together. And I decided to add some black lace-up shoes with it, and then we went with the away luggage. Now, this is easily one of my favorite looks that I've done for Rasul. We got a lot of positive feedback on it, but this is another way that you can essentially dress down your suit just a little bit. Remember, all the elements are still there. He has his suit jacket, suit pants, dress shoes, but no dress shirt, just a sweater. And it looks really, really great. Now, last but not least, this was a step out of our comfort zone, and I think we did a really, really good job with it. Rasul is rocking a orange suit, wide peak lapels, sneakers, and we decided to go with a white turtleneck. So the white complements his sneakers. And then we went with some orange sunglasses. Rasul looks, you know, incredible. These are 4 different looks for Rasul that I wanted to present to him. He loved it. We went with it, and we received a lot of positive feedback. Now, the beauty about fashion is you can absolutely make it your own. You don't have to necessarily follow the traditional paths that were laid out before you. Fashion is subjective, so if you like something that somebody else doesn't, it doesn't really matter. It's all about how you walk with it. Anytime you get dressed, you have to have that confidence every single time. Now, I also understand that there are a lot of times when people have a crisis and they don't want to get dressed. But I just want you to think for a second that if you're not feeling your best, what can you do to make yourself feel a little bit better? And for me, I think fashion plays a very big role in that. I've had clients who might have injured themselves or, again, weren't feeling their best. So, you know, I say, you know, instead of wearing those sweatpants, here, put these jeans on, right? And put these shoes with these jeans, and they feel better. Now, I'm not saying that they are back to 100%, but when you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you know, you can exude that out right to the people around you. So I just think that getting dressed, there's a mental space that comes with getting dressed. I actually read a book not too long ago, and the author spoke about whenever she had a writer's block. And what she would do is she would get up from her laptop, she would go into the bathroom, put makeup on, put a lipstick on, and then sit back down, and she felt like a whole new person. And that helped with her writer's block. So I like to approach that the same exact way when it comes to fashion. If somebody's not feeling well, instead of wearing, you know, those sweatpants, put those jeans on and these sneakers, or take it up a notch and not necessarily put on a suit, but some nice slacks or some nice dress pants and a button-up shirt, or like a nice fitted polo collar shirt or something. And the hope is that you feel better about the way you look. And when you look better, then, you know, internally and externally, you feel a little bit better. So I think that's very, very important. And that's one of the reasons why I do what I do. I enjoy helping people get dressed because I like to see the smiles on their face, you know, when they get dressed. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to share with you some super top secret stuff. Like I said, I'm working with Eric Murray of the Houston Texans, and this is a look that I put together for him for Game 1 against the Kansas City Chiefs. So just take a look. This season, I decided to work with all black designers, and what that means is I wanted to be able to circulate the black dollar. In today's society, the black community has been getting hit the hardest, obviously, with COVID and what is happening with police brutality. We're just getting it from so many ends. And I think what we have to do is we have to come together and just galvanize with one another, right? So instead of spending our money on these other designers who don't necessarily care about us, I think it's important, and we should have been doing this, but now it has hit home even harder. So it's imperative that we continue to circulate the black dollar. So I'll be working with black, brown, and a few ally designers. And when I say ally, I mean people who are not African American or who are not brown, but they understand the cause and what we're fighting for, and they show it and they prove it on a day-to-day basis. So I have a few of those ally designers that I will be working with as well, and I'm very, very excited. Now, let's take a look at what Eric Murray is going to wear for week 1. Eric is wearing a suit from a good friend of mine, Hilton, and this is a mustard suit, and I decided to actually go with a t-shirt. So as you can see, I broke down the suit. Now this is a robed look, so it is still a suit, but there's a robe component attached to it. And then the sneakers are Fabrice Tredouille. He's Haitian, but I believe that he's based out of like Italy or Paris somewhere. But his work is just really, really good. Shout out to Brooklyn PR because they rep this brand, and the brand is really, really incredible. They're doing a lot of amazing things. Just the way the shoe looks is very comfortable. It has shoelaces in the inside that you can zipper it up. Just a really, really great shoe. But so I decided to go with a different colorway for Eric Murray, and he just looks amazing. He feels good, he looks good, and I can guarantee you that he's going to be one of the best dressed players this season. But more importantly, game 1, nobody's going to touch this man's style. So I'm giving you all an exclusive sneak peek of what Eric Murray is wearing. And again, these are black and brown designers that he is wearing. So I'm very, very excited about that. But I hope you all have enjoyed listening to me talk, because I can talk all day, but I have more work that I have to do, more things that have to be accomplished. But again, to the Crescent Foundation, I'm very humbled, and I thank you for allowing me the space to speak about who I am and the things that I do. And I just want to say kudos to what you guys are doing, elevating the voices of people with sickle cell, because it's so imperative, because we know that sickle cell affects the African American community very, very heavily, and we all know people who battle with sickle cell. So I just want to again say, continue to do the work that you guys have been doing, because it's incredible and it's very, very special. And again, I'm humbled to, be a part of this conference. So